Something massive is happening right now in the world of gun rights, and most people have absolutely no idea it is going on. The push to eliminate firearm permits across the entire country just got a huge boost, and the support is coming from places nobody expected. We're talking about the Department of Justice, state governments, and the highest court in the land all moving in the same direction. If you carry a gun or own one, what happens in the next several months could change everything about how you do it. You need to know this today, not tomorrow, today. Look, I spend hours every single week digging through legal filings, court decisions, and government documents, so you do not have to. The least you can do is hit that subscribe button right now. I drop videos like this every week, and I cannot afford for you to miss a single one. Hit subscribe. Do it right now before we go any further. All right, let me take you back to where all of this really started, because you have to understand the foundation before the new developments make sense. For decades, most Americans lived under a system that said the government could decide whether you were allowed to carry a gun outside your home, even if you had never committed a crime, even if you passed every background check, even if you had 0 red flags in your entire life. A government official could still look at your application and say no. No explanation, no real standard, just no. That system was called may issue, meaning the government may issue you a permit, or they may not. Their choice, not yours. Gun rights advocates fought that system for years. They argued that the Second Amendment does not say the government gets to decide if you are worthy enough to exercise it. They argued it is your right, and rights do not require government approval. And finally, the Supreme Court of the United States agreed. In 2022, the Supreme Court handed down its decision in New York State Rifle and Pistol Association versus Bruen. 6 justices ruled that New York's may issue permit system was unconstitutional. The court said the Second Amendment protects your right to carry a firearm outside your home for self-defense. More importantly, the court said the government cannot demand proof of need. But here is what made Bruen so powerful beyond just the permit question. The court created a brand new legal standard. They said that from now on, any gun law has to be compared to the historical laws that existed in 1791, when the Second Amendment was written. If the government cannot find a similar historical law from that era, the modern gun law fails. It is unconstitutional. Period. The one legal standard has been like a wrecking ball swinging through gun laws across America ever since. Courts in state after state have been using the Bruen test to strike down restrictions that have been on the books for decades. And here's the part that really matters for what we are covering today. That movement has gained so much momentum that it is now being supported at levels nobody saw coming just a few years ago. Let me explain what that looks like right now. First thing you need to understand is what constitutional carry actually means. Constitutional carry is the idea that you do not need any permit at all to carry a firearm, either openly or concealed. The argument is simple. The Second Amendment is your permit. That is it. No application, no fee, no waiting for a bureaucrat to decide your fate. You are a law-abiding citizen. You have the right. You carry. A few years ago, only a handful of states had constitutional carry. Most people thought it would never spread beyond those few states. They were wrong. Today, more than half of all states in America have adopted some form of constitutional carry. Think about that for a second. We went from a handful of states to more than half the country in a relatively short period of time. That is not a slow drift. That is a tidal wave. Second thing, state attorneys general, which are the top law enforcement officers in each state, have been filing legal briefs, supporting the expansion of gun rights in court cases across the country. Some of these are the same officials who would have been on the other side of this debate just 10 years ago. The legal and political environment has shifted dramatically, and the Bruen decision is the main reason why. Third thing, at the federal level, the framing around gun regulations is changing. Courts have been pushing back on federal agencies when they try to expand gun restrictions without a clear constitutional basis. The historical tradition test from Bruen is being applied at every level of the judicial system, federal and state alike. Now here is where it gets really interesting, and this is the part that most channels are not covering in enough depth. The combination of Bruen's legal test, the constitutional carry movement, and the shifting positions of government officials is creating a legal environment where mandatory permit systems are becoming harder and harder to defend. States that still require permits to carry are being sued, and they are losing those lawsuits at a higher rate than at any point in recent history. Here is a hypothetical example to show you what this looks like on the ground. Imagine you are in a state that still requires a carry permit. You apply, you pass the background check, you pay the fee, you take the course, but the state's processing system is backlogged and it takes them 8 months to approve you. During those 8 months, you are technically not allowed to carry for self-defense outside your home even if you are legal, even though you have done absolutely nothing wrong. You are a legal, responsible gun owner stuck waiting for government paperwork. Gun rights attorneys are now arguing that even that kind of delay is a violation of your constitutional rights. and courts are starting to agree. Now, quick legal note right here. Everything in this video is educational information only. It is not legal advice for your specific situation. Gun laws are different in every state, and they are changing rapidly. Before you make any decisions about carrying, purchasing, or transporting a firearm, you need to speak with a licensed attorney. What is perfectly legal in one state can get you arrested the moment you cross a state line. Please take that seriously. Okay, back to the big picture. Let me talk about the DOJ piece of this, because that is one of the most surprising parts. The Department of Justice has historically been seen as an institution that supports tighter gun regulations. So when DOJ positions in certain court filings acknowledge that the Bruen standard applies and that laws cannot survive, that is significant. It does not mean the DOJ is suddenly a pro-gun rights organization, but it does mean institutions are being forced to operate within the new constitutional framework the Supreme Court established. Bruen is not optional. It is the law of the land, and every government institution, including the DOJ, has to work within it. And here's the crazy part. That actually creates legal pressure from multiple directions at once. You have gun rights groups suing states to strike down permit requirements. You have state officials defending weak laws. You have federal courts applying that same test to federal regulations. And you have the DOJ acknowledging scrutiny. All of that is happening simultaneously. Right now, while you're watching this video. Hey, real quick. 73% of the people watching right now are not subscribed to this channel. That means you might miss the next one. I will go deep on the specific states where permit requirements are currently being challenged and what it means for you. Do not be in that group. Join the tens of thousands of responsible gun owners who get these updates first. Hit that subscribe button right now. It is free and takes about 2 seconds. Now let me get to the practical part, because information is only useful if you know what to do with it. Here is what most people get completely wrong. They hear that permits might be going away in more states and they think that means anything goes. That is dangerous thinking. It could land you in serious trouble. Even in constitutional carry states, there are still rules in restricted places. There are still rules about how you must behave during interactions with law enforcement. There are still rules about who carries. Constitutional carry does not mean lawless carry. It means law-abiding citizens do not need government permission to carry, but they still have to follow the specific rules of wherever they are. Here is what you should actually do today. Step 1, find out exactly what your state's current carry laws are. Not from memory, not from what your friend said. Go look it up today. Things may have changed in the last 12 months. Step 2, find out if your state is in court. Find out if it is involved in battles over carry permits or gun restrictions. The law could change before a case is resolved. You need to be tracking that. Step 3, if you travel across state lines with a firearm, understand that laws change. What is legal in your home state may not be legal in the state you are driving through. Reciprocity is not universal. Some states do not recognize any out-of-state permits at all. Check whether states you visit honor your carry status. Step 4. If your state still has a permit system and you do not have a permit yet, consider getting one anyway. Even in constitutional carry states, having a formal permit creates a paper trail that shows you went through the process. It shows you passed the background check and made the effort to do everything right. That can matter in self-defense. That can matter if law enforcement or prosecutors start asking questions. Step 5, stay informed on the legal landscape. This landscape is moving faster than almost any other area of law right now. What is settled today may change next month. What is restricted today may be permitted by the time you read this next year. Before I close, I address something vital. Some of you watching are in states where gun rights feel locked down. California, New York, New Jersey, Illinois, Maryland, Massachusetts. And you might be wondering if any of this even applies to you. The answer is yes, it does. The court battles that will ultimately determine your rights are being fought right now using the Bruen framework. Attorneys are filing cases in every one of those states. Judges have already issued rulings striking down restrictions. The legal pressure is building, and the direction it is moving is toward expanding your rights, not restricting them further. It is slow. It is frustrating. But it is happening, and when the next major ruling drops, you want to know about it. Immediately, not 6 months later. This information is moving fast, and the next year brings biggest changes in decades. Subscribe to this channel right now because my next video covers exactly which states are closest to permit dismantling. I will go over the timeline and what it looks like for you personally. That is information you cannot afford to miss. Hit subscribe, turn on notifications, and share this video with every gun owner you know. Take the takeaways one more time. The constitutional carry movement has now spread to more than half of all states in America. It is a major shift. The Supreme Court's Bruen decision created a legal test that is being used to strike down gun permit requirements. Government institutions at the state and federal level are being forced to operate within that new constitutional framework. And the legal battles happening right now could reshape how every American exercises their Second Amendment rights forever. Stay informed, stay legal, carry responsibly, and I will see you in the next video very soon. One last reminder. Everything in this video is for educational purposes only. It is not legal advice. Laws differ by state, they change frequently, and your personal situation matters. Please speak with an attorney. Stay safe out there. The push to eliminate permits is real and gaining ground every single day in the courts. Watch the news and keep your eyes on the Supreme Court. They have set the stage for these changes. Many more lawsuits are on the horizon. Each one builds on the last to secure your fundamental right to carry. Governors and state legislatures are feeling the pressure to reform their laws before the courts do it for them. This is a historic moment for the Second Amendment. Do not let it pass you by without understanding the impact. Your ability to protect your family depends on staying current with these shifting legal standards across the country. Remember to verify all local ordinances as well, as cities may have their own specific rules on top of states. Keep your training up to date. Regardless of permit requirements, proficiency and safety remain the owner's responsibility. The landscape of freedom is changing. Be a part of the conversation and stay educated on your rights. Check back here for updates as these court cases progress. We will be tracking the filings and decisions closely. Share this knowledge with your community. Awareness is the first step in defending constitutional liberties in America. The legal fight for the right to bear arms is far from over, but the momentum is clearly shifting. Thank you for watching and for being a responsible member of the firearms community. Your support makes this possible. We will continue to bring you the facts without the fluff. Accuracy and speed are our top priorities here. See you in the next update. Until then, stay vigilant and stay safe. Always remember that your rights are only as strong as your willingness to defend them through legal channels. The Bruen decision was just the beginning. The real work is happening now in the lower courts everywhere. The Department of Justice and other agencies are watching these cases just as closely as we are right now. Stay tuned for my deep dive into the California and New York cases next week. They are the front line. These states are the hardest to change, but the legal pressure there is at an all-time high right now. We are witnessing a transformation of American law in real time. It is a privilege to cover it for you. Final note, please double-check all reciprocity maps before traveling this holiday season. Stay within the law always. Your freedom is too important to risk on outdated information or hearsay from the range. Get the facts. Sign up for our newsletter if you want these updates delivered straight to your inbox every morning without fail. We are building a community of informed citizens who value their rights and their responsibilities. Join us today. Everything discussed today is subject to change as new rulings are handed down by the various circuit courts. Keep your head on a swivel and your eyes on the legal filings. The future of carry is being decided. This concludes our special report on the national move toward permitless carry. Have a great day and stay safe.